Hi guys, Tammy here from Formflex Compound, and I thought that I would share with you something that I was doing today that you might find interesting, and I want to share it right away because these molds are newer molds, and I think they just came out there by Stamperia. I believe this is a fortune teller. Of course, I cannot find the bill. I was going to tell you, most of all these plastic molds like this, they're under $10. But this is all about doing parts of molds. I know I've done a whole thing on that prior to this, but I wanted to share this before it gets too late and they're out of these. If you're interested in this project for Halloween, or actually I've been kind of messing with it, and you could probably use this for other things as well. But what I did is this mold, I wanted to have a crystal ball, and I'm not sure about the resin that you can put in these. I'm sure they have it, and it's probably something that's low temp and that. But I also wanted this moon right here, or try this moon. And so all I did was cast the bottom part of this and the bottom part of the smaller one, and then I'll show you. See how I made it kind of whoops, where's the camera? Concave there. See the concave in that? And I did the same thing with this one here as well. And then I was going to show you this one about using parts of molds. I never do this process, but if you're not familiar with it, doing parts of molds, you could always try this. And what you do is you take your glue gun and you only fill right up to where you want to fill the mold. Put your glue gun on there, see, and then your glue, as it cools off, I don't really want to pull on it yet, but as it, I'll go ahead, I don't really, you should wait until it like thaws out a little bit and your glue gets, softer, and it will peel right off the Formflex. And then that way you can get just parts of molds that you want. If you don't feel confident in I just mold them. I don't ever use glue, but there are occasions that the glue would be super, super helpful. But you can see I just picked a mold that was closest and just did a part of a casting. I will use parts of castings all the time because it extends what you can use your molds for. And on this particular project, what I did is I just want to show you maybe a possibility that you might be interested in if you don't want to bother with resin or something. But this is a 2.5 inch flat disc, and I did look on Amazon, has some, eBay has some. You guys, I've had this, it was gifted to me, so it's pretty old, and it is 2.5 inches, but you can see there what a cool crystal ball that is, okay? In this mold, there's also, here's the little one, okay, this one right here, and you can find the ones from the dollar store. I did try, and it was a little bit small, so I'm not sure what size this one is, but I do know this is 2.5 inches. So kind of try if you have any of these discs and see what you come up with, and if you like it, if you're interested in doing something like this for Halloween or whatever, it's just a fun way to extend your mold, like I said. But also in this mold, you could see that there's this really cool candles here. And when I was messing with this, I thought, wow, it would be really cool. You could use it. Here's the candles. And on these heavy molds, I've showed this before, I always put my finger in them and make them thinner because you don't need to waste your compound. Okay, it saves on compound. Yeah, I'd like you to buy more, but also, work smarter. But this large one here works pretty good in this, so you could use that like that as a candle holder. Okay, you could put two of them together back to back. This is what the composition that I'm starting right now. I don't know if you can see that very well, but it's not nowhere near finished or that, but I do have, this is a new redesign. Here is the little book that's in here right there, okay, and that's in this mold. the candlestick, I believe, is the redesign. The owl is the frog. And then these are the IOD leaves. This mushroom is also in there. But here is, I'm going to lift these up on a Jenga block. I have to do my background. And then just a piece of twig. And I'm going to add some more twigs. I just didn't have any other ones done. And you could use this also kind of like back to back. To extend it if you wanted a taller one. I had one other one that was kind of dry here. But let's see, how do I do it? I did it like this and put it like that. And then you could also use the candle in it. You could stick the crystal ball in it as well. When I made this one here, I didn't have this. I tried this shape at first because that's what I found first, okay? And as you can see, kind of made it look like an egg, okay? But there you go. I mean, this is perfect. Also, you could use this as an egg holder for when you do Easter or something, but you could put a gem in here and extend it. You could use these for like planners, you know, like when you're doing a scene or something, and you could use it as a planner. My idea is I think it would be really cool to use it this way, use it as a dress and put those little, like, you know, swiggly, twirly legs on it made out of wire. I would put a Formflex head on it, but you can also buy those heads from the dollar store. So this is one of those examples where you can take a very simple mold for under $10. I looked, I believe I paid $7.99, but I'm not sure. But I know they're almost always under $10 or maybe right at $10. But this is the mold. Again, it's something fortune teller because you can see like there's the hand and there's the cards and all that. But it came out, I think it was available a couple weeks ago. So, I mean, it's a great mold. I think you could do a lot with it, and especially with these candles. And as you can see, I don't know if you can see it there on camera, but see the detail on the candle is kind of the same detail that's on the piece here that holds the crystal ball. And that's what I wanted to show you so that if you're interested, you can get it ordered. Here's the redesign one that the frog came from, and let's see, the mushroom came from that, and the owl. You guys, this owl is great. It's a really good piece. I mean, I think you could do a lot with that as well. So those are some of the things. I don't know if any of you saw that I did the hand with the glass ball with resin. And I did do this for 4th of July project. I think this is going to go on the back of a box. So I made, you know, the angel with the angel wings. If you watch, I did that. And then I made this box here, and I painted the flag and all that. And now I'm getting ready to embellish it. And I thought this angel with like the classic elements pieces around it, I might stick on the back. But what I did is I just stuck the leaf in the mold, and then I just poured the resin over it. My resin is not very clear. I don't know if it's, I mean, it's clear. You can see it on camera, it's clear. But even when I'm mixing it, I still can't get it to come to that pure white. And I'm sure it's old, and I'm sure that's the reason why, but I can live with it. It worked fine for the crystal ball. It works fine for this. But I made a couple of those. I made one without anything in it, and you could put waxes on its wings or whatever, but I really thought this was kind of a fun idea by putting that greenery in her wings. So that's one of the things I did, and I'll show you now what I did, how I do this. If you don't know how to do it, it's pretty easy. It's not really an exact science. It's just kind of, you just need to make sure that you get a nice concave inside here. And if you don't, that's okay too. Don't worry about it. You can always take a knife and cut it. Formflex cuts really easy with a knife. That's the one thing that's really nice about it. You're not stuck. You won't crack it. You won't damage it. You won't do anything to it. I would not, on this particular mold, I have seen somebody try hot glue in these molds and they will melt. So I wouldn't do that, but you can do it really easy with these. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to put a light dusting of cornstarch in there, you know, inside my mold. And then I'm going to kind of pat it. And then I'm just going to take a small amount of my FormFlex. I don't want to overfill this one if I can help it, but I also don't want to underfill it. So after you do it once, you'll figure it out. And you'll see exactly, you know, pretty close to how much you have to grab, because you don't want to have to try and peel back from this area right here. All these castings are wet and I'm smushing them. I'm going to move them all over so I don't whack them. Yeah, I thought that taking part of that moon was this big moon that I showed you, just doing that part of it, I think might work fun also for a Halloween type, yeah, I don't know, vignette or whatever. But anyway, all I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in here. I'm trying to look at the camera. I'm going to try and stay back. Can you see? There's my line where I'm filling it. And I'm just going to try and stay behind that line, okay? And then just push it in. And then, you know, keep working it till you think you got what you want. You can put the disc, you guys, I believe a 2-inch one would work as well. If you don't like the size of this one, this is a 2.5. You could get away with a 2-inch one. If you didn't, I mean, the other thing that I thought about that you could do is you could also just take and put some, like, leaves around it or something. If you don't get it exact, I kind of set a couple leaves when I put this up and then put the glass piece on it. I just took these little tiny, the small from their new IOD mold, but you could do something like this and put leaves kind of going up it right here if you didn't like the way it turned out or something, you know, going up depending on what you're using your crystal ball in. But that's another ideal that you could do with it. But you can also, on this, you can go ahead and stick your concave thing in, your flat thing here, and push this in until exactly. The problem is when you push it in, sometimes it's harder to get out of the mold, and then you end up messing up your casting. So to me, it's just easier just to kind of estimate where it's at and just concave that. And you can always go back if you don't get it enough or whatever, you don't like it, you can just cut it out. And just keep pushing and making sure that that's all down into all the detail of the mold, okay? And then just take your knife or your card or whatever and just go around it and just clean up all your edges before you stick it in the freezer. And these molds, if you haven't used them, these molds pop right out. That's what I always tell people. Just be really careful when you take them out of the freezer. Don't carry them backwards, you know, with the upside down like this, because they can just fall out on the ground. But see, and then if you want to flip it around, you can make sure, see how I'm right on that line right there? If you can see my finger in that camera. And I did the exact same thing with the moon. I just turned it around and just made sure that I was on that line right there. And that's the good thing about working with these. But anyway, that's all I had. Hopefully, I've got so many projects going that I'll be back on tomorrow. Tomorrow's a pretty busy day, but, and show you maybe something finished. That would be nice. But I wanted to share this right away, and I think it will. I think that there's numerous uses for this. So again, it's by Stamperia. If you know anybody that might like this video, you know, it's absolutely free. We'd appreciate it that if you would, you know, share it out, sprinkle it out, do whatever. But anyway, till the next time, get creative, and I hope that you found this of some value. Thank you for watching. Bye now.